Ta-da. Does it work? Aha! Hello! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Tango Live with Winnie. That happens every Thursday at 4 o'clock these days. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tango with Winnie brings to you the most inspiring tango artists from all over the world, and I mean it, so that we can connect ourselves to the wider surrounding of where we are, to connect our minds, to continue to remember that we belong together to this giant community of the world, specifically to one giant tango community around the world. So today we have Jacqueline Oroc, wonderful, amazing cellist with hair to write about. We're part of the hair band, Jacqueline and I. She is in Buenos Aires, and she is our first cello guest of Tango Live with Winnie. In fact, the first string instrument in the violin family, you know, like guitar, of course, it's a string instrument. I'm aware of it, yes. But Jacqueline is our first cellist on the episode. Before I talk too much, hello, Jacqueline.
Hi, Winnie.
We're gonna invite Jacqueline to play a song for us first. This song has the Japanese title, Okonomi Jacqueline. It's the name of the song by Nicolas Enrich. Hey, wow, did you see that explosion? So while I am going to continue to tell you how awesome Jacqueline is, today we're a little understaffed today, so I'm going to ask Jackie if you would look into your Zoom and see if you can turn on original sound. We might have forgotten that. But, you know, the good news is we're all here. So Jacqueline Oroc, as you saw, she can drive the cello like I can drive my car. She can start and stop, start and stop. It's really, the cello is a part of herself. Jacqueline is an important member of your downtown tango band of Argentina, Astillero. Have you heard of that band? Led by Julián Peralta for 15 years now, is that right? Jacqueline was the one thing that caught my eye every time I see that band play live. My eyes like right on Jacqueline. I could not take my eyes off her because the tone of her cello in the ensemble, it's mesmerizing. I couldn't give it. And not to mention, other than being in Astillero, Jacqueline, of course, has been doing many musical activities, and lately with the duo Gandino Oroc in my fancy bar down there that you can see. So Jacqueline is another one of our wonderfully young, energetic, rising generation of tango artists who's keeping tango alive in every way possible. So Jackie, being the first cellist on our episode, tell us, have there always been a cello in the tango orchestra? How did the cello get into tango? I didn't realize there are cellists in tango orchestras. What happened?
First of all, thank you very much, Winnie, for having me and giving this space to tango community in my country, in Argentina, and especially to my instrument, because yes, as you said, the cello began in tango when tango was already developed, and the orquesta típica was already doing their activities, and cello began as something as a complement in tango. But it grew so much that nowadays I can be playing, for example, this wonderful piece written by this great bandoneonist for myself, for the instrument, this cello solo. And I think it's kind of a miracle because we had to gain that space in the genre. And so it was not easy. It required lots of effort from cellists and composers and all the tango people who gave little by little a little space in their music. They give them the cellos little solos in their pieces, and then Piazzolla did a lot for cello music. He composed, for example, the Gran Tango, dedicated to Rostropovich. And from that moment on, the repertoire started to grow and grow and grow. And nowadays, I think we can play as much as whatever we want, basically. And we can have our repertoire, our solos, our orquesta típica, our duos, whatever we want, and we can do it with tango music.
I know, without the cello, tango would never sound the way you've gotten used to. Do you remember the solo?
I think so. I do think so.
I think so too.
Not that I'm a cello player, but
no, really. When the cello takes a solo, you're like, what was that? And then you're like, a cello. I just want to say, before you heard the cello solo, the cello was there to make the whole string section sounds fat in all the best ways. It is as gorgeous as you see that instrument. And so thank you, Jacqueline, for doing so much work for so long already, for bringing the cello to the awareness of everybody of all genre, not just in tango, eh? So if I were a violinist or a cellist or a violist, and I want to participate in this beautiful, fun thing called tango, what should I do and what can I do? And what are you doing to help us join the party, so to speak?
Yeah, well, that's very interesting because even though times change, the method remains kind of the same, because at the very beginning, when the cello players became part of the orchestra, the típica, they had to learn the language from zero, as if they were learning, I don't know, maths or whatever that wasn't related to them at all. And today it remains in that way, because even if you have a really nice technique level and you're a professional and whatever, you need to learn the language of tango. It's not that you read the music and that will make it. It won't. But it is the same as in every popular music, same as in jazz or whatever you want to play. But you have to get the touch, el toque, la esencia del tango, and you have to learn it from people who already plays it, performs it. And so in my case, that experience began when I joined Astillero. They were my first teachers, and you know, I was a couple of years younger, and I was like very tender, and it was like, you have to learn a lot. Let's go.
Yeah.
And these guys really did a great job, and they were very generous by sharing. And I think that's the best way to learn. It is better if you go and play, and so someone teach you how to use your wrist and, you know, your bow arm, and how to express I don't know, how to play an accent or a staccato or something. If you have someone to teach you directly and to shows you how it has to go in that way, in that particular way. So in my case, it was like marvelous. To me, it was the best experience that it could be. And I truly recommend that for all people who want to join, to get involved, to talk with people who already performs tango, to, I don't know, take lessons, to also you can read and watch videos and everything, but you have to be in touch and to get familiar with everyday tango, you know, little aspects.
It's great. So while we're at it, Jackie is telling us that tango is a community sport, isn't it? We need other people so that we can actually pass on this tango vibe. So that's how you learn how to play tango. To see Astillero, this band that we're talking about, I prepared a little clip for you. Astillero, Pompeia, they have hot videos, these guys. You have to check them out on YouTube. This particular clip, see if you can spot the cello in it. Did you hear it? Did you hear it, people? Did my technology work? If it worked, write to me in the chat aisle. That means it's working, people. Yes. So there is, of course, a lot more. You should watch the whole song, Astillero, Pompeia. These guys, they have like 11 CDs out over the past 15 years, and they are actively producing new tracks, even in the era of COVID-19. They are taking that little air bubble spot that they have now in the springtime of Buenos Aires, recording something new. Is that right, Jacqueline? You want to tell us a little bit about what's going on over there?
Yeah. We got a new CD at the beginning of this year with Chino Laborde, who is great, one of the best, if not the best singer that we have. And we got to make a CD with him that is called Arcadia. And we couldn't do much with that in live performance because of all the situation. But well, you can hear it in Spotify and all that net sources, platforms. And then we are working on a couple of new songs. We just recorded 3 new songs with the video, and well, can't talk to that much right now, but it's gonna be out there soon. We're getting something.
That's great. So that was wonderful. Of so many things that Jackie's doing, I don't even know where to start. I know about this very funny video that you are, it's not a video, it's a show that you're about to begin that is super funny. And that pairs with all the other videos that you've been putting out since the pandemic, all in the interest of enlisting all the rest of you to continue to play music, continue to be in tango, do not give up, let the arts save you, right? So tell us, what videos have you been making for us, Jackie?
Yeah, well, I was, when all this started, you know, life changed a lot. So I had to figure out what to do in order to keep, I was thinking in my students particularly, but then I thought it might help cello community all around the world, since, you know, Instagram is a free open platform and you can reach many, many people. And so I thought, how can I do, because it was hard for me to keep practicing myself. And so I was thinking maybe someone who can't have their teacher anymore, can have lessons. So how can I do to know, it is not going to be the same, because face to face it is always better, but what can I do in order to keep, you know, these people moving in a way? And so I started this series of videos that is called Cello Warm Up, and then Cello Tango Tips. And it's a compilation of short videos in where I explain certain aspects of technique, you know, general cello technique or tango technique. And so people started to make questions and started to get more interested. They started doing online lessons, which was very good for them, because, you know, it is a motivation. And after that, I thought, okay, what about, because I started to get a lot of questions from these students, like, hey, Jackie, in this video, you do this thing and I can't get it, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, okay, I compare it to when you go to the therapist. You go, hey, I can handle this. Can you, like, what can I do? So this image came to my mind, and so I started to open the consultorio del violonchelista. You have to help me out with that translation.
The psychologist's office, the shrink room for cellists.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're polite,
like
they probably take violinists too. You know what I mean? If you're really polite and say, please. I want a room like that for pianists or for bandoneonists.
If it is you, I can make an exception, Winnie.
Thank you, doctor. I have trouble with my straps. Can you help me with my straps?
And so I think it is a funny way and a relaxed way to get people's questions. And hey, you are not alone. We can work this out together. And okay, what's your problem? We can address this. And so I'm gonna make it. It starts. Today is Thursday, right? Tomorrow. Yeah, so soon. And well, I'm gonna just address questions of students, cello players, and try to, you know, to keep them on their way. That's the idea.
Should we give up? Should we give up on playing music because, for example, we're violinists? I have nobody to play with. What can we do? How can we pick ourselves up? You're a cellist.
Yeah.
Life could be really hard. How do you make life a little better? Which part of your brain turned to the point that you are so busy and so positive and taking the whole string world by storm? How do you do it? Tell us.
Yeah, I like, it is hard for me to answer, because sometimes I'm you know, I'm not very clear in that aspect myself. But I think that if you keep your goals straight and clear, it really helps, especially in this moment, in this kind of situations. But to me, have, for example, this piece written by Nicolas, have to prepare it, and on my personal projects, that gives me the impulse to keep moving. For example, the duo that I have with pianist Paula Gandino, we're planning to record a CD in a couple of months, this summer in here. So that really keeps me motivated. And I also recorded a couple of songs with this bandoneon player I already mentioned. And all that kind of things that you can do to motivate yourself, music that you enjoy with people that you admire and your friends are your friends, all that kind of things, I think that were the answer in my case. And also teaching, because when I teach, I don't know if I learn more than what people learn. It's a 50-50, you know. I learn very much teaching.
Doctor, I know I should like new tango music, but I really have trouble liking new music. I just want to like the old tango music, but I have a feeling there is a lot to be discovered in new tangos. Can you help me find a way to like new tango music better, Doctor?
Yeah, I will really encourage you. For example, I don't remember if it was last month or because, you know, time for me locked up. I can't remember if it was last month or whatever. But this piano player, Paula Gandino, recently sacó un disco. No me acuerdo cómo se dice sacar.
Has it released
Thank you. Released the CD with the singer Victoria Di Raimondo.
Beautiful
And
singer.
it's piano and voice. And all new tango written by Paula. I think that particular CD, everybody needs to listen to it. It's just a masterpiece.
I'll type it
Like
on the
when
chat.
I hear it, I was just speechless. Really, I will recommend you to go for that first, and then we can talk. But
Tangos.
if you want to start, go there.
It speaks to our time better, right? If it were fresh, it speaks about where we are now, and technically and really we can relate to it a lot more personally, I believe. That's why I like new tangos.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
That's
all tango has its roots, and like new tango has the old tango roots. It continues, but what you express, your time period, your life experience, that's the new and the good stuff that you should take care. Yeah.
You know, now that we're here, and I think I had made the sound a little more audible right now. Is that okay, Jackie, that you show us the beginning of the first song that you played again to show us why does that song has a Japanese title? Okonomi Jackie, why? Why is it Japanese in title, your song?
Yeah, it is a funny story. We were doing a tour in Japan at the beginning of this year, and okonomi is a traditional Japanese dish that we enjoyed very much while being there. And so, you know, just like an anecdote, he didn't know what to put in the name. Okay, let's just put okonomiyaki because you enjoy this dish so much, and let's just call after you the song as well. So yeah, it was because of that anecdote.
So tango records a memory, really a friendship that you had that connects places to the people, and that makes it really special. So I was wondering, if I were a cellist, I would think, I don't know what tangos I can play by myself. Where can I start to look for the material to find some stuff? Because I'm a phenomenal classical cellist and I want to play some tango. What names should I look for, or what songs could I find on the internet so I can start playing some tango cello?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. Today, fortunately, we have lots of composers and people doing new stuff, and as well arrangements from classical tango pieces. But also you have pieces that were composed especially for cello. For example, Piazzolla, I already mentioned, he did a lot for cello, like this Le Grand Tango. Is already a classic in the cello repertoire of tango. You have to play it because you're gonna love it and because you just have to. And then José Bragato also did lots of arrangements. For example, Graciela in Buenos Aires, well, lots of music. Then there is a cello whose name is Villanueva, who has a series of arrangements for cello solo. And
You can, like, for example, Julián Peralta has some arrangements as well. Like he has this Agosto song, which we recorded a couple of years ago, that is very, very nice. And well, you have many things. I myself arrange a couple of things. If you go cello tango, you can start to find something. Maybe a couple of years ago it was harder, but nowadays it's that easy as cello tango, and you're gonna find something. Also, Jojo Ma recorded that is very interesting, something diferente de lo que estamos hablando, no tiene nada que ver, pero está bueno que lo sepan.
Yo-Yo Ma, different than what we're saying, but it's about what we're talking about,
Yeah, I just remember, and I don't want to forget, because he's like the big star of cello players. And so it is very interesting that he recorded a CD that is called, I forgot the name, Tango Passion, I think. If I'm not wrong.
Yo-Yo Ma.
All tango songs in a CD with, a couple of friends playing with him. But I think that's a good starting point to begin to investigate into the cello repertoire as well.
We're so privileged to have one expert professional cellist right here with us. Can we actually hear what you think is the most tango part of this Piazzolla song that maybe you'll play for us? Let me see if I get it right. Estudio Tanguístico, number 3, by Piazzolla, arranged by Jackie herself. Can you take apart that song for us and play us elements of what you think is the most tango part of this song? We want to hear little excerpts of that first, and so when we hear the whole song together, we can pick it out. You think that'd be fun?
Yeah, sure. For example, I'm gonna talk a little bit like the principal elements you can find here is the contrast between what is melodic and what is rhythm. You have lots of contrast, cantabile versus aggressive passages, and that is, you can find that very often in this kind of music. And particularly in this piece, I found very interesting the bowings, the articulations. If you notice, you have moments in where you have very long passages of notes slurred, completely slurred, and then you have passages in a completely articulate way, very staccato, very accented, very aggressive. And I think that contrast makes this music very interesting. For example,
can you show
as one aspect to mention.
Can you show us what you mean? Can you play for us and show us what it means? We have never heard the cello by itself on tango, or I haven't until I get to play with cellos. But that's just me. If we can,
like for example, at the very beginning, you start. So this kind of articulation you find a lot, which is accent plus a staccato note. And it is not the staccato and the accent that you find in classical music. That's related to what we were talking about before. You play it in a very different way. You play it, maybe in classic, you wouldn't want to make such a big movement with your wrist, but in this case, you need to, in order for the music to sound the way you want. So it goes. And then you have a very long area in where you have a cantabile, so you forget all the articulations, you forget all the accents, and you go and sing. And I think that's the versatility that the cello has, and it makes the instrument so interesting for tango music, because you can play, you can sing as a real singer, and you can transmit that emotion and that lyricism. ¿Existe esa palabra?
Yeah.
Lyricism.
Lyricism, that's right.
Yeah, but you can also play with this power, strong, short bowing and articulation, and I think that's a pro that the instrument has.
Would you like to play for us the entire Estudio Tanguístico number 3 by Astor Piazzolla, transcribed by Jackie herself, so that you now have more repertoire to play on the cello? So that is how she conquers that problem. You can't find the music? Make the music. Jacqueline Oroc. Jackie.
Something like that.
Wasn't that beautiful? Did you hear the depth of this young human being? That in all only 4 strings, Jackie showed us the whole wide array of human emotions, all on 4 strings and some bow hair. Jackie, are you a normal human being? How do you put all of human emotions into 4 strings and some bow hair? Where do musicians come from? Are you people normal?
I don't know if I can consider myself normal. No, yeah, I think, but yeah, no, seriously, I think that it is a matter of loving what you do. It doesn't matter whatever it is, but just being aware of, yeah, we are all the same. And like we musicians, it seems sometimes that because you see the result and so the reaction is in the best of the cases this but there is a lot of work, hard work behind that, as in everything. But like we have I have to work a lot and to study every day and to do lots of scales and technique etudes and to learn how to play this kind of music. It is a big effort, and like sure everyone can do it. Everyone can learn how to play tango music. I think you have to put your heart and your effort, and you're gonna be in your way.
It just how do you survive the coming winter? Because for Buenos Aires, Argentina, they just survived a winter in COVID, and in North America and in Europe, we're about to get a winter. Please help us. Any advice for us, musicians or otherwise, to survive this upcoming difficult time?
Yeah, well, in my particular case, I have my 2 CH words that are cello and chocolate, and I survive because of that. But no, seriously, I think that if you put your head really cold and you stay focused on what makes you happy. This sounds very cliche, but if you focus on, in my case, my music with my friends, recording with Astillero, recording with the duo with Paulita, recording these songs with Nicolás, making these videos for my students. I think that's the way you have to focus on something that makes you and your people feel good, and you're gonna make it.
Jackie, so where should we find you if we need your help, doctor? Where do we find your therapy sessions? And if we need tango tips on the cello, where can we find you?
Yeah, I think you can reach me. The best way is by Instagram. On Instagram, Jackie Oroc, Jackie.Oroc, because I put pretty much everything in there. I also have a Facebook. I rarely use it. I almost don't, but I still have it. What can you do?
You can find Jackie basically on Facebook, and it links you to Instagram.
Better. So basically that Instagram is always better, and I'm very open to chat and to listen to to cellists and to people interested in tango. Always is a pleasure for me, because sharing makes, I think, not only people who reach me, but also myself and everybody, all the community grew. So I think it's always a good idea to stay in touch.
Isn't it great? Guys, I'll tell you a secret. Jackie was nervous before this, but
I was because I couldn't practice my English this couple of years. And so I was very nervous to get stuck, and I actually did a couple of times. And I have problems with my verbs and my conjugations, I know. But what can you do?
But you can see she is perfect. Her English is perfect. Her cello is perfect. She is perfect. And here is why we're doing this live with all the technical difficulties or not, is that when we're live, we show you the way we are. Musicians are people too. We have our self-doubts, even if we sound perfect or whatnot. But music is made of human, and it is the most honest form of human that I can see. And Jackie showed us that with her stories and her music. And listen up, guys. And she's putting all this material for cellists and cellist-related people, like probably violinists too. And if you need help, find Jackie Oroc. Spelling of her name is over there on Instagram. You know how to use Instagram, right, people? Yes, you do. And thank you again, Jackie, for sharing with us everything.
And I would like to thank you, especially Winnie, because this space is a great place for everyone, for people who gets to talk with you, and for everybody, I think. And especially in this moment, it is very important that you keep this space and you keep the communication with musicians all around the world. So thank you actually for your time and your good energy and everything that you put in here.
I miss you, Jackie. I miss you.
I miss you too. When are you coming?
Human energy is, oh man, I'm a druggie for human energy.
Come back.
I will. Tomorrow.
We need you here.
Tomorrow, I will. Jerry, our pilot bandoneonista, is going to take me there someday, right, Jerry? He's somewhere. Gracias, Jackie.
Gracias, Winnie.
Ciao.
Besote. Ciao.